Okay, we're getting the engine painted. And if you guessed, it's a combination of two things here of the reason we chose this color. One, it's Brooke's favorite color. Two, we beat Just Mopar Joe, so we had to just. He got beat by an LS, so we got to paint this one in memory of the Mopar crowd. You know what I mean? I'm just playing. Really, it's just Brooke's favorite color is purple, so that's kind of. She said pick a purple, and honestly, the hardware stores didn't have anything that I really liked, and I think this will turn out much better. So that's kind of the only reason we picked it, but I think it's funny. So this has injector bungs. Well, the previous owner of said intake decided to put what I can only describe as block plugs or heater core what do they call that? I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, they're like plugs for blocks, but this is smaller in diameter. Freeze plugs. There we go. They're like freeze plugs. And then siliconed on the top to get it to seal. We're not a hackery. We don't do that. We do clean, nice stuff. So, I'm going to order false injectors. And what is a false injector, you might say? I'm glad you asked, because I didn't know it was a thing either. So, basically, it's a piece of aluminum that's been machined to have two O-rings on each end, just like an injector would. And you're supposed to put them in where your injectors would go when you're fabbing up stuff, so that you don't get dirt in them and you don't use your injectors. You can't, leaving a set of injectors out dry and in the dirty area of working on a vehicle is terrible. You're asking for incidents and problems. So that's what these plugs are for. They're, I don't know, a few bucks a piece. They're not that big of a deal. They're cheap. For us, we don't really need both sides, so we only have to buy 4 of them. You cut 4 into 2 and you get 8, right? So, and then you take a plate like I showed you, you put them on top of those, and then that's what holds pressure on them and seals them up. And then boom, you have clean, efficient injector plugs, basically. And this way we can run the carburetor for this class, and then if eventually we want to go to a turbo or if we want to go to fuel injection, all we do is buy the fuel rail kit and pull those plugs out, put the injectors in, and plumb it, and we're done, which is good because we're planning for the future. At some point this engine will come out of this vehicle that we're going to be building and go into something that's we want a little bit more out of and possibly be turboed. Or it might just be street and we just want the fuel injection for simplicity's sake. Where am I going with this? What I'm going with this is whatever you're working on, don't half-ass it. Try and make it the best of your ability. I'm aware that this probably worked. And for whatever it's worth, it's not that dumb, but it also doesn't look good. There's better ways of doing this. At any rate, this is what we're doing. I'm literally just making plugs for the injector bungs so that we can throw a carburetor on it. Which, if you don't know, I have a thing on my Facebook page that's a list of things that we need. A lot of it's actually being filled up. We have a lot of people donating parts and being very helpful. I've had a couple people offer money. I really don't want that, so I want you to send that money to someone who needs it more than me. This is purely that people have a lot of racers, and I feel like this is true with a lot of people in general and just the automotive community. They buy parts and then they upgrade and then they put the parts on the shelf thinking, oh, I'll take that to the swap meet or I'll do this with it someday. I may need that. And then 20 years down the road, they don't need it and it's sitting on the shelf still. These are the people we need to be friends with because I want them to send me their parts. because they're old and not useful to them. Therefore, useful to me because I can use it right now. So, like I said, go up on my Facebook page. I pretty much update the list, I don't know, once a month, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, if there's something on there that you have sitting around that you don't need, send it my way. Look at that. It's beautiful. It is purple. And it's a really nice color purple. If you, when you see it in person, you're going to be like, oh, wow, that's much better looking. Like, it looked black in the video, but it's not black, I promise. So I got the seal for here, so I just need to get the camshaft. I think that cam gear, or the crank gear for the cam, for the timing chain, looks good. I'm going to look at the cam gear, and if it's good, I think I'm just going to buy a chain, because the chain was really loose. And yeah, so if the cam gear looks good, we're going to use both gears and just get chain. And if the cam gear looks bad, we're going to just replace them both because they're cheap. It's like $60, I think. So, and then it's like a good gear, or, good chain. Is it Cloyce? Cloyce? That's what's in the Laguna. And I mean, it's seen $8,000, no issue. A lot. So that's what we would go with if we have to buy one. Good thing for me is I already have a valley cover, because this engine did not come with one. Yeah, so I already had one from the original LS out of the Laguna. Here is the front cover. I'm going to change that seal out because I already have one. And yeah, all I did was clear coat this, or wire wheel it and clear coat it. I don't like painted like everything on an engine like this. Like when it's painted, there needs to be something that offsets your color. So like aluminum heads is going to offset the color a little bit. We'll paint the valve covers that color, and then you'll have the front cover is aluminum and clear coated. No one will see the back. The oil pan will be aluminum and clear coated, just bare aluminum. The intake, bare aluminum, maybe not clear coated. I don't really want to do that, but yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. I need to get an oil pan, a pickup. And the oil pump I have is somewhere down there.